The US have jailed a France-based Nigerian for his role in a $8 million disaster fund fraud. Good afternoon. Welcome to the channel. Thank you for stopping by. On this channel, we share real stories, lived experiences of immigrants living abroad. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, then you're in the right place. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. That will help me to bring you more of these stories. Turn on your notification so you will see when I post the next video. Newton Jemide, 47 years old. He was living in France. He was extradited to the United States to face justice for his involvement in this $8 million disaster fraud. This happened between 2016 and 2017 when there was quite a few disasters in America. There was a few hurricanes, the Hurricane Harvey, Hurricane Irma, then you have the Hurricane Maria, and then you have the California wildfire. And that caused destruction. Thousands of people lost their homes, everything, all their possessions, and many people also lost their lives. So this was a big disaster in America. So the U.S. Federal Emergency Management Agency, which is a disaster relief program, they put measures in place. They provide emergency benefits and compensations for damages to the victims of these disasters because people lost everything. Jermide, now he was living in France, and him and his associates living in Nigeria, they thought this was a good opportunity for them to make quick money. Big money. So what Jermide did was he contacted his associates living in America and directed them to purchase hundreds of these green DOT debit cards. So this DOT is a financial corporation in America, and you can buy these debit cards, prepaid debit cards from them. So prepaid means you don't get any money on the card. You buy the empty card and then you add your money to the card. So Jermide was in France instructing his associates in America to buy hundreds of these prepaid debit cards from this green DOT company. And then once they purchased those cards, their associates in Nigeria would now register the cards with the financial company, the Green DO company, using fake identities. So stolen personal information from victims in America. So people's names and social security numbers and addresses, etc. They would use that to register the cards with the financial company, because you need to register the card in order to use the card to claim that disaster relief money. So they register those cards online, and once they register those cards, the Federal Emergency Management Agency would now deposit money onto the cards. So each card they deposited $500, $500 on each card. And don't forget, they had hundreds of these cards. So they netted a total of $8 million. And Jermide and his associates, they thought they were being clever. They were trying to cover their tracks by any means. So they were using encrypted messaging program to communicate with each other. So these encrypted programs, no ordinary person can access them. So they thought they were being clever. They would never get caught. So they registered those cards, and the money was deposited onto those cards, $500 on each cards. And they didn't just use that Federal Emergency Management Agency. They also submitted false online claims for Social Security benefits, IRS tax refunds, and other government benefits using these stolen identities of multiple individuals in America. Once the money was deposited onto the cards by the federal agency, Jermide now instructed his associates in America. So Jermide was living in France. He was the mastermind behind it. He was living in France, giving the instructions. So he instructed his associates in America that once the money is deposited onto the card, onto the debit cards, and the money is available, they should start cashing out the money from the card. And what they would do, they would cash out the money in exchange for a commission. So they would get the money onto the cards, and then they would go around on ATMs and banks and try and withdraw the money. In different states of America, they would travel around, use the card to withdraw the money. They would also write money orders, make money orders payable to individuals, which is their friends, and companies, which is their friends' companies. And those people would get a commission, and then they get the bulk of the money. So that is what they were doing. They said it was so much that the associates in America, they had to get other people to help them. Because remember, they're traveling around America trying to get this money in different states, because all these cards are registered in different states. So they would travel around different states in America cashing out the money. But they couldn't hide forever. The law caught up with them. The law finally caught up with them. And it was traced back to this Jemide living in France. So Jemide pleaded guilty, and he was extradited to the US, and he faces 30 years in federal prison for conspiracy to commit wire fraud. The special agent in charge of the case, Matt McCall, he said, and I quote, "Bringing these criminals to justice prevents further victimization of American taxpayers and abuse of the program put in place as safety nets for the most vulnerable in our country. This investigation underscores the Secret Service's global reach and steadfast commitment in collaboration with our partner agencies to combat cyber-enabled financial crimes and relentlessly pursue those committing them." So the US government is not stopping until they catch you. But these people never learn. I mean, I believe they always think that they will never get caught. But what the US government is saying that we are going to get you. We will get you. And we will do everything we can to protect our people, to protect the most vulnerable people in our society. Remember, this money was put aside for victims of these natural disasters, people who lost their homes, people who lost everything, all their possessions. And sadly, a lot of people lost their lives. What are your thoughts about this story? Do you think justice was served if Jemide gets 30 years in federal prison? Do you think that is too harsh for the crime? 30 years in prison is a long time. He's 47 years old. 30 years time, he'll be 74 years old. Do you think the punishment is too much for the crime? This is not just punishment. This is a message. This is deterrent. What are your thoughts about this? Leave me a comment. Don't forget to share this video, because the stories we tell are to educate us and to inform us. We can all learn. You're never too old to learn. Knowledge is power, as they said, and it starts with information. Don't forget to turn on your notification. In that way, you'll see when I post the next video. Subscribe to my channel and grow with me so I can tell more of these stories. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.